We got a new hotfix for Borderlands 3 that included interesting changes, including a buff on paper that actually slightly nerfed my weapon, but more importantly, they decreased the Anointed loot drop chance, while they said they would increase it, or actually that it would have the same values as with the recent event. So let's go over what is actually going on and some future things that we can expect. Would of course be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support, and let's go. I was at BlizzCon this weekend, so wasn't able to make a video on the recent hotfix that went live a few days ago, but I still wanted to cover it because there are some interesting things going on. First up, an important note on the Anointed drops that were increased during the Mayhem on Twitch anniversary event. And if you played during this event, then you likely noticed it too, right? Almost all the legendaries and even the purple and blue loot was Anointed. And then, one day before the event was over, Gearbox noted on Twitter that they would not be reverting these changes back to their previous values. Meaning that on paper we should see the same drop chance as during the event for Anointed loot. And I think this totally was the case after the event was over on October 29th, but then on October 31st we got a new hotfix. In the patch notes they once again noted that the Anointed drop chance is increased, but what actually happened is that it's now way worse than during the Mayhem on Twitch event. Like during that event I would do a boss and see more Anointed drops than regular drops, and now the Anointed drops are pretty rare again. People on Reddit are now speculating that about 20% of the legendary drops are an Anointed drop, while it was way more during the Mayhem on Twitch event. And let's stay on Reddit, because after this October 31st hotfix, a lot of people were like talking about the fact that the Anointed drops are way worse now than they were before. And I have the same experience, as I already told you. I think there has been some miscommunication from Gearbox. We got a Mayhem3 on Reddit, and I hope I pronounced that right, who did some calculations by looking at the numbers that were changed with the October 31st hotfix. And while this is like not 100% confirmed, this research does line up with what we are seeing in the game right now. I will leave a link to that Reddit post in the video description, but what he is basically saying is that after the October 31st hotfix, the chance to get an Anointed drop on the True Vault Hunter mode on Mayhem 3 has been reduced by 520%. And while during the Mayhem on Twitch event you would actually have a higher chance to get an Anointed drop on the True Vault Hunter mode, now after the October 31st hotfix, the chances are actually the same on the regular and the True Vault Hunter Mayhem 3 modes. And I'm not sure what the value for Anointed drops was before the Mayhem on Twitch event, but it could be that the Anointed drops were still increased, but not compared to the Mayhem on Twitch event, but actually compared to the regular Anointed drop chance that was present since the launch of the game. But yeah, that doesn't change the fact that Gearbox said that the Anointed drop chance would be the same as during the Mayhem on Twitch event. So yeah, it's very likely that the social team misinterpreted what the developers were going for, and they thought that the Anointed drop chance would be the same as during the event, while the developers still wanted to increase the Anointed drop chance, but not as drastic as we saw during the Mayhem on Twitch event. Something that is still the same though as during the Mayhem on Twitch event are the Anointed modifiers, like the all gun damage was first minus 50% on Mayhem 3 and now it's minus 20%, and we still see that in the game, so that indeed remains the same. Another interesting piece of info that is actually great news is that in the coming weeks we should see more standard Anointed gear instead of the terror ones that can get annoying now if you just want to farm for regular items. So the closer we get to the December 5th date, and that is when the Bloody Harvest event is over, the more regular gear we will see instead of terror. I think this does not apply to the hack map though, because in that map you actually see way more Anointed drops, and that's intentional. It's way higher than in the regular game, and most of them, if not all, seem to be about terror. And I think this is a great solution. Like, do you want to farm the terror gear? Just go to the hack map and do that one over and over again. And want to farm regular Anointed loot? Then just do things in the main game. And by the way, as I mentioned in my Bloody Harvest event video, you can just travel to Sanctuary when you are like close to Haunt, and then go back via the portal on Sanctuary, and then all the enemies in the hack map will respawn. So then you can just do this run over and over again without having to collect any ectoplasm. So if you still want to get some items with the terror before the event is over, then this is a great way to do it. But again, the terror anointed drops will be less prominent in the coming weeks in the main game. Going back to things they actually did with the October 31st hotfix that is already out right now, and that is that the Theodore E-Tech shotgun damage has been fixed. So this for the Theodore shotguns with like the iridium barrel. So the Creeping Death is of course one of them. So they note that they fixed something, and that means that the damage is plus 50%. Pretty substantial. So I looked at my Creeping Death shotgun, and before the hotfix I had 1119 damage. But the stat on the weapon said minus 20% weapon damage. And now that stat on that same weapon says 175% weapon damage, while the actual damage on the gun is actually decreased. It's now 1099. So the change will not really be noticeable, but with Gearbox saying that it is a 50% damage increase, I totally expected something else. But let me know if you got like another E-Tech TDR shotgun that did get an insane buff. I'm really curious. Drop it down in the comments down below. Another thing they touched on is the new sniper rifle, the Stalker, that you can only get during this Bloody Harvest event. I will give it away in a second, so more info on that soon. Either way, they said that they removed the text from this Stalker sniper rifle, but I don't see any differences with my version before and after the hotfix. If I'm missing something, then totally let me know in the comments down below as well. A bug fix that will be coming in the future is regarding the fact that we cannot mark gear as trash or favorites on the PlayStation 4 in the inventory menu, while you can still do it in the sell menu of a vendor. Gearbox notes now that they are working on a fix for this and that it will be implanted in a next patch. So likely an update that we have to download, while of course these hotfixes will be applied when you play the game online. Something they are also working on is the ability to turn off Guardian ranks, so you can make the game harder or not have the explosions after a crit, for example. Seems like they want an option to turn everything off, while it would of course be better if we had the option to turn off the skills that we did not like. But overall it's a great addition. At least it's nice that they are looking into this, but more options are always better, of course. We got some more smaller changes that happened with that October 31st hotfix too, and you can totally read that for yourself. Like, it's not all that interesting. One good thing to note is that your time is running out for the Halloween hats and skins. So totally, if you haven't redeemed the code yet, then totally do it before it's too late. I will share a link to a tweet so you can easily redeem the code in a pinned comment. You can redeem it inside the game, in the Shift section, and also on the dedicated Shift website. So you find a link to that tweet in the pinned comment, and under that pinned comment you can also leave your PSN for this week's weapon. The Pizza Bandits won the new Ghost Skull grenade from a recent video. Then we got a Sari Kuzuki, and I hope I pronounced that right, who won the Fire Cutsman. Raw Trooper got the Big Boom Blaster shield. I've sent you a friend request, and then I will send you the weapon after you accepted the friend request. And for this video I want to give away the new Stalker sniper rifle from the Bloody Harvest event. Again, just put your PSN in a comment under the pinned comment, not just a random comment under the video, really under the pinned comment. Would of course be nice if you are a subscriber of the channel as well before you participate. Of course, I will just keep you up to date on everything Borderlands 3, so totally subscribe if you haven't already for that too. Like the video to support the channel, and check out my previous video on the Big Boom Blaster shield. That is now one of the best shields in the game. You can watch it by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of our golden chest opening that Dennis and I always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. Yeah, Dennis, it's good to be back playing Borderlands 3 again. Kinda missed the game, and there was like a Halloween event. Did you play during that event with more ghosts?
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that, and the amount of ghosts was absolutely insane.
Yeah? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, legendary.
Hey, I see a legendary. It is a Krakatoa, so we will take that away quickly and never speak of that again, because I don't think anybody uses that.
Oh. Oh, okay, no. I got only purple. But still, we're gonna take a look, because last time we actually got some pretty decent purple gear. Stagecoach. Not bad.
It looks pretty. I'll give you that.
Like, you also see that the anointed loot from the chest, while first it was like every item was anointed, now it's not the case anymore, so they really changed that.
You got a white shield too. Look.
Oh
On the
yeah,
left.
it is anointed though, this one. Apply terror to yourself every 5 seconds. Oh, that's pretty good.
That's actually useful.
Subscribe for everything Borderlands 3 if you haven't already. Like the video to support the channel, and totally check out that video on the Big Boom Blaster shield. That is very, very powerful. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.